Hello everyone, my name is Pritam and you're watching Tech with Pri. Welcome to my channel and I'm back with another tech video. Now this is the 8th video of this tutorial series called Cloud Computing with Microsoft Azure. Now in my last video, we have seen how we can create our virtual machine in Azure and what are the different options that are available, like different virtual machine sizes that we can use, and also different virtual machine images like the operating system. Also, we have seen like the hard disk option. We are having the standard one and the premium SSD one. So if you missed that video, guys, I would suggest you to go and watch that video and clear your concept while creating virtual machine. And I'm gonna put the link in the description, and also you can find the link here in your screen. Now in today's video we will go further and learn about many different concepts, which is very important. Like if you remember in our last video, while creating virtual machine, I skipped few options and I said like we will cover in the next video, like the options of Azure Region, the region, and also the availability options. So no worries. Today we will going to clear our concept on all those topics. So we are going to see what is Azure Data Center, then Azure Region, Azure Geography, availability options, and also like the availability set, fault domain, update domain. So all these concepts will be cleared today. And these concepts are very important, guys, for your Azure certification exam also. Azure Administrator and the Azure Fundamental. For both the exam, these concepts are very important. Also, I have mentioned that we will remote in the virtual machine and also see how we can create virtual machine in PowerShell. So what I decided is that, so I'll cover it when we'll go much deeper in the virtual machine section. So there would be a section when we will see what are the different options that I can use after creating the virtual machine, like Azure Monitor and all these things. And there I will show you that how we can remote Azure virtual machine, and also how we can create virtual machine with the help of PowerShell, right? So what we are waiting for, let's get started. Okay, so first we'll understand what is Azure Data Center. So you already know about data center, right? It's like all the giant company that are available, like Facebook, Google, Microsoft, like Amazon, Flipkart, whatever it is, every company has their own data center. And data center is nothing where all the data gets stored. Like for example, if you're using Facebook and you are liking some picture, you're commenting, you're using your profile, you're posting photos, videos, so all these things has to be stored in some places, right? So it's nothing but the data center. So the first point, we can say data centers are the building block for cloud, right? So these are the unique physical buildings. We're going to see the picture in the next slide, that is located all over the globe, right? So for Azure, we have 160 plus data centers which is available in the whole world. So you can understand that like all the companies that are using Azure as a cloud computing service, and they are launching virtual machine like we did last day. So everything is getting stored in the data center. Now we can see a picture of data center. You can see this is a one of the data center of Azure. Buildings are so big, and there are like like the cooling systems. There are people who are working in the data center to managing things, managing the server rack and all other things. We will understand the server rack in a minute. Okay, so some important terminology would be, first would be Azure Region. It's very important. It is a set of data centers that are connected through a dedicated regional low latency network. Okay, now to understand this, I will just go to a website of Azure, and I'm going to post the link in the description. So this is the website. Actually, this is for the Azure geographies. So I will post the link again. Now here there is a section. You can see now there are many locations that are available, like for example Europe, and under Europe has two regions, North Europe and West Europe. So that means these are the places, or these are the region where we have multiple data centers as per the definition of the Azure region, right? Now let's go back. So Azure has 60 plus region which is available, right? Now if I go to the concept of geography, so it is Azure Geography. It is so an area or portion of the world that contains at least one Azure region. Now you will understand the concept of both the region and geography. If I just go back to the site, you can see there's an option called select a geography, right? This is a location where Azure has multiple region. Again, region is nothing but a place where there would be two or three Azure data center available, right? So if I choose Azure Geography, let's choose India. It is available. And under India, you can see region section. We have Central India, South India, and West India. And if I just quickly go to the definition, an area or portion of the world that contains at least one Azure region. Now, so under geography India, we have three region: South India, West India, and Central India. So that means India is a geography of Azure, right? Now, if I just go back to the a different location, if I choose, like for an example, let's choose France. So under France, you can see only one region is available, that is the France Central, and under the geography France. Now let's go back. And next we have the concept of availability zone. So this is very important, guys. Availability zone is a unique physical location. Basically, it's a data center. So in an Azure region that are made up of one or more data centers with independent power and cooling and networking. So if I just go back again, under the geography France, and you know a geography is nothing but where there is one or more region are available. So under France, we have one region, France Central, and region is nothing but collection of data centers. So you can see if I just go to the availability zone presence, available with three zones. So that means three data centers that are available in the France Central where you can host your data. Now, what is the advantage of this availability zone? What is the requirement of that? To understand that, let's go back to our Azure portal and we can create a virtual machine quickly. And we have seen this option already. So I'll just click on virtual machine to show you the option. Now here it's the region. So first you are choosing which is the region you are going to choose. So this is the virtual machine I'm trying to create, and I'm gonna host it on region East US. Okay. And then we have the availability option, and I can choose here availability zone, and you can see it is written physically separate your resources within an Azure region. That means when we will host this virtual machine, Azure will take that virtual machine and a copy of that same virtual machine would be available in a different data center. So just thinking normally, when you host that virtual machine, it will be there in one data center of East US, right? Your machine will be there, your virtual machine will be hosted. When you are choosing availability zone, that virtual machine, maybe ABC, whatever name you're going to give, that virtual machine that would be there in different data centers, not a single data center, but in different data center, so that if one data center gets failed or anything happen, any disaster happened, other data center would have your virtual machine safely stored, right? So this is the use of the availability zone. So then you need to choose one, two, three. I mean, three availability zones are available under East US. You can choose any of them, and all your data would be there in the other two data centers or other two zones. So you don't need to worry if any data center gets failed in your East US location for any issue. In other data center, your data would be successfully, so your virtual machine would be successfully available. Also, if I just click on here, we have another option called availability set, which is saying automatically distribute your VM across the multiple fault domains. Now here, what is the meaning of availability set? Availability set is nothing but it consists of fault domain and update domain. Now what is a fault domain? Let's go back. So let's search in Google like Azure Data Center. And if I go to the image, you can see this is the outer location of the data center. Now if I go to that picture, you can see this is called the server rack. You can see this is one rack, this is another rack, this rectangle, this is another rack. So this is known as the fault domain. So this rack is one fault domain, this is another fault domain, this is another fault domain. So when you host your virtual machine, it's normally get hosted in one of the fault domain, right? In any data center, in one server, in one rack, it would be stored. Okay. So the fault domain, like I said, a rack of servers which use same network, same power and cooling. Now if I just go back, so the power supply and cooling and the networking, all this stuff would be different from this different fault domain or the different rack. Now we need to understand two things here. One is unplanned hardware maintenance event and unexpected downtime, and that's where we are going to use the availability set, right? Now, unplanned hardware maintenance event means like if something happens, like your virtual machine is hosted in one of the rack, and yours some hardware failure has happened in the rack, and Azure will detect that, and Azure will try to move your virtual machine in a different rack or in a different domain. And in that time, definitely there would be some downtime. I mean, your service or your virtual machine will not be in service or not be in power, because some hardware issue has happened. And this is unplanned, means there is no planned for that. So this is happened, and Azure will try to move in a different hardware devices or different rack. And also unexpected downtime, what is the meaning of that, is like suddenly anything can happen. Suddenly the rack gets failed, the whole rack, or suddenly some issue happened in the hardware, the totally hardware gets failed. So suddenly, like the power supply has stopped for that particular rack. So if you just go back, so suddenly, for suppose your virtual machine is hosted in this rack, and some power supply problem happened and your virtual machine will be gone. So that is the unexpected downtime that can happen, right? So that can cause your virtual machine a problem. Now let's see the picture that we have for fault domain. So we are hosting 3 web server, right? And if we choose the availability set option, then Azure will, like for your web server virtual machine, the 3 different virtual machine will be there in 3 different fault domain. That means 3 different rack. Like one virtual machine would be there, one will be there, one will be there. So if anything happens in this rack, other 2 would be working fine without any issue, right? So you won't have any problem on that. Or if this one gets down, then other 2 will be there. So that is why we use the availability set. Now, availability set is in the same data center we are doing, right? We are hosting our virtual machine in the same data center. So under that, we are dividing in different racks. Now, if I just quickly move to create virtual machine section, and if I choose availability set, so you have to create a availability set, guys. So maybe I can give one test, and you can see this is the fault domain. So maximum you can choose 3 fault domain. So your, or you will just probably you host 3 virtual machines, so it would be in a 3 different fault domain. And the next, the fourth one would be again in the first rack. So you can choose any number of fault domain. Now what is update domain? Now if you just click on that button, you'd be able to understand, like virtual machine, the same update domains will be restarted together during planned maintenance. So if you divide your virtual machines in different update domains, so this update domains means nothing but the planned activity, the planned maintenance, what is happened, like what happened in IT. Like for an example, in Azure, Microsoft will install some patches to their server, or some some software, some things will install. So these are the things are the planned activity, right? But if you divide your virtual machines in different update domains, that means once any update will happen for a particular virtual machine, other 2 other virtual machines will be okay, right? And once update has finished for a virtual machine, then another virtual machine will start to take update. So in this way, if you just provide more update domains, so virtual machines will be more available to you, right? So this is the concept of the update domain. Again, if you want to know more about this, guys, I will provide the link. You can go to the Azure website or Microsoft Docs, you can check. Now we can choose here any of the number of update domain. Let's choose 10 and click on OK. And then you can see under the availability set, we have configured the update domain and the fault domain. Now, once you will host another virtual machine, and you will choose the same availability set. So this is it for today, guys. We have learned so many topics here, and I believe it is helpful for you. So if it's helpful, guys, please hit the like button. If you have any doubt, any question, come to the comment section, and please share this video with your friends and family so that it can reach out to many people. Thank you for watching. We'll meet you in the next video. Bye bye. Take care.